Welcome back to Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. We are in the underground caves of Canabras, where we have met Lann and Wenduag, and we are about to head into the other parts of the caves after we found the Light of Heaven, the sword that was left down here by Lariel the Angel. So we need to do a mobility check to get across here. I think that is a given one.
Forget it. Thanks, Lann. You're so awesome, Lann.
Well, maybe it wasn't a given one, but at least we could redo it. There seems to be a giant spider down there.
Together we stand.
I heed the voice of the spirits.
How long does that last? 3 rounds plus her charisma, so 4 rounds, okay.
I'll watch your back. What's on your mind? I wonder. Open your heart to me.
I will help where we are the light. They are the darkness.
No match for me.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
He is rather good.
The spirits demand your blood.
This will hurt.
My character is going to be completely and utterly useless.
Rip you apart.
You won't survive me.
Except for casting the occasional grease spell, where it's useful.
The mongrel did it.
Small earth
Well?
element, huh?
No reason to pause. Do not fear. Do not waver.
Not too worried about them, but they do have rather high armor class, I think. 15. Yeah, you go lie on the ground.
Endure this.
You are today's sacrifice.
There's also a penalty to combat if there is, or to ranged attacks, if there is some other character engaged in melee. So I now have a penalty to this attack because it is engaged in melee. I don't know if that's shown anywhere. It should be in the encyclopedia. Combat rules, combat modifiers. I know it's here somewhere. But yeah, there is a critical miss. There is a minor penalty, -2 or -4.
A calculated risk.
Ooh, I actually hit. A Wand of Cure Light Wounds. That's actually going to be quite useful. Who can use that? I can use it with a skill check difficulty modifier of 20. Ouch. Sela can use it. Camellia can use it as well, so I think we'll put it on her.
I heed the voice of the spirits.
And you can use it on yourself.
Thanks, Lann. You're so awesome, Lann.
Yes, I can't change that blasted formation.
You can trust me.
Rely on me.
I'll watch your back.
Focus on the goal.
Meditate on your mistakes. It might make you
We will
feel
win
better.
this war. A bright
Yet
future
another
awaits
obstacle.
us.
Make every strike count.
Nope.
This should do it.
They'll beg me to stop.
No glory without risk.
Go for their hearts!
It's definitely easy enough. Oh, that's a masterwork like crossbow. Let's change to that then. I mean, I don't know if it... Well, I don't remember. +1 enhancement on attack rolls.
Follow my lead.
I'll bathe in your blood.
Well then. That sounds a little bit drastic. Now,
I'll cut you wide open! The spirits demand your blood!
Let's try this way.
nah.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Into the fray. The inheritor, guide my blade.
No match for me.
You are today's sacrifice!
This will hurt.
Not bad. I'll just take everything currently. We have plenty of carrying capacity, especially with the animal companion. Here we are. Wenduag glances at Lann, who is fixing his slipped bowstring, and quickly walks over to you. Her cat-like eyes glow from beneath her hood. Listen here, you. I don't know who you are or where you come from, but you and I are the only two people here who see things clearly. That's why I'm asking you, don't show the light of heaven to Sol. Don't you want to save the kids lost in the maze? I do want to, but I'm not going to risk the future of the tribe for the sake of a few stupid kids. Chief Sol is hesitant, and for good reason. He also understands how dangerous this is for the tribe. Lann's the only one who benefits from these childish games of heroism. I'll go alone if I have to find them. Or what's ever left of them. Without any heroics, relying only on myself, risking only my own life. Wenduag slows. You and your friends, you can come with me. Perhaps we can make it to the end of the maze together and find the way out to the surface. Lann is sure that the light should be shown to the mongrels. Lann. Wenduag grimaces and a guttural husky snarl unfurls in her throat. He wants to play the hero. His first idea, if you remember, was to grab the sword and run headlong into the maze. Does that sound like a plan to you? To me, it sounds like suicide. The worst part is that the tribe might actually take his words to heart and follow where he leads. I thought you considered the mongrels to be great warriors. The descendants of great warriors. I believe that my people are worthy of greatness, that we are strong and can do many things. That's why we were chased down here. We scared people. But it's one thing to go hunting in the caves, and another to fight in the shield maze. Wenduag leans closer, her pupils dilating. I've been there. I've spent my whole life training so I can make it through all the way to the end. There were more of us trackers at the start. We were young and stupid. What's a couple of monsters when there's a whole world out there waiting for us? That's what we thought. But we weren't prepared. The maze isn't just a physical challenge, it's cunning and full of traps. It's dark as the primordial night, and if you close your eyes and listen, you hear whispers right behind you and soft singing in the distance that seems to rise and fall with the beating of your heart. Wenduag looks away. I had to learn from my friend's mistakes. I had to step over their bodies and go further. I don't want to have to do that again. And it will happen again if a crowd of ill-prepared fighters burst into the maze with no idea where they're going, all because Lann believes that a glowing sword will solve all our problems. I'll think about it. Let's go. Wenduag nods. Don't show the chief the light, and I'll lead you through the maze to the surface. I swear it. Not a huge fan of Wenduag. To Neathholm. Even as an evil character, I'm not necessarily going to pick evil companions just because. So, we'll probably go with, or not just probably, we'll go with Lann. First, Caledon's cleaning service has to make sure that there's no loot around that we don't pick up. Oh, there's a... Your first impression of the mongrel village is of a squalid dump with the odors to match. Unblinking, glowing eyes watch you from the gloom, and deformed shadows slope between the huts. You see some mongrels gutting white eyeless fish, while others are repairing fishing nets. All the signs of normal village life, but tense expectation hangs in the air. A heavyset aged mongrel slowly shuffles his way toward you. The hair on his head grows in limp, wispy strands, and his face has a distinctly rat-like appearance with pronounced teeth, and you hear a rattling sound in his chest with every breath he takes. One of his eyes is white, fully scarred by cataracts, while the other gleams with moisture. Uplanders, eh? End times are upon us indeed. Chief Sol, we found the angel's sword, and we found the one who can wield it. Lann points at you. He had a vision, and now the angel's sword, together with the light of heaven, are somehow inside him. Gather the tribe, anyone who can hold a weapon. The young ones are still alive, and we can go save them. Sol raises his hand with ragged, broken fingernails. Ah, Lann, always dreaming, always talking. You're too hasty for your own good. It's going to get you in trouble. Sol eyes you up and down. An uplander with the light of heaven. That's too good for us. Our kind don't have good things happen. There's always a catch. Lann trusts people because he likes to believe. Isn't that right, Lann? I'm the chief. I don't work on faith. Show the light. Wenduag stares at you intently, like a cat watching a bird, and shakes her head in warning. And you can see, even though this is the Angel Mythic Path choice, it's also the lawful one. Chaotic would be lying. So, lawful, Lann speaks the truth. The heavenly flame flares to life at your unspoken command. Bright, pure, dancing with multicolored sparks like a sunbeam passing through stained glass. The mongrels abandon their tasks and stare, transfixed. The light is bright, but not blinding. It is warm, but its warmth is so deep. Sol is silent for a while. Tears are streaming down his wide, pale face, but the old man doesn't even care to wipe them away. So it's true. The angel did not forsake us, no. He came. Back from the dead he came. To save our children. Lann gives you a nod of thanks. The scaled half of his face is indifferent, but the human half is visibly relieved. As if he wasn't sure all this time that you would support him. Wenduag hisses at you like an angry cat. See these fishermen and these hunters, these husks of men and women? Their blood will be on your hands. I'm I'm not responsible for others' decisions. Wenduag snarls in fury. And why are they making these decisions? Because of you. You've sealed their fate. You're a murderer. You always think the worst, Wendu. We're not on our own in this anymore. We've got allies. Well, a couple at least. But one good fighter's worth 10 bad ones. You have the right of it, Lann. But we're neithers. We're going to wait. I sent a messenger to summon all the tribes. It will take time, yes, but they will all come. They will all come for the light. Wait, Lann. Wait, Uplanders. Rest a while in one of our huts. Our home is your home. Lann sighs. All right, Chief. Understood. Let's hope that a few hours isn't the difference between life and death for those kids. If they ask me what took us so long, I'll tell them it was your decision. Wenduag only grits her teeth in silence. Sol heaves himself around to face you. Eh? Can I just clarify, are we Uplanders prisoners or guests here? Have you drawn weapons against us? No. Have you killed us? No. Have you stolen our food? No. Guests. The latter one. What are you going to do now? The messenger is swift. He'll rally the tribes, all of them. The angel's light is with us, so we will follow it. Now you, go, rest, eat. But I want to ask a few questions. Aye? Tell me about mongrels. Eh? Ah, well, we're the crusaders under the ground. The children of the first crusaders. The Worldwound touches everyone. Look at us, we are all marked by it. The Uplanders didn't like it. Drove us down here. But we have a secret. Sol's one good eye twinkles slyly. We are waiting. When the shield maze falls, that is the end of our lives down here. We will go up to the surface to fight. Until then, we don't. Our place is here. But now that we have all seen the light of heaven, now we can go. What other signs do we need? We must fulfill our crusader duty. Tell me about Wenduag. Ah, Wenduag, our beauty, our huntress. Who is more skilled than Wenduag? There are braver fighters, yes, but brave doesn't mean skilled. Wenduag is the only one to go into the maze and come out again. The others listen to everything she has to say. Tell me about Lann. Lann. Sol makes a vague gesture. He's not one of us. No, not one of us. His father was one of us, but his mother... no. They took him up to the surface. They ruined him as a child. Then they came back, but he wasn't one of us. A good hunter, yes, but he feels trapped down here. But he can't go up there either. It's not safe. He wouldn't last a gong. Thank you for your answers. It's no matter. I want to look around here. Okay, so we got a level up now. This first level up on characters shouldn't be that much of a pain. We are going to stick to those 3 skills primarily. Use magic device is good, but I'm going to use it as a dump stat. I want to have a certain amount of trickery, but knowledge arcana and persuasion are going to be the 2 primary skills that I'm going to focus on. So I might pop a little bit between these. Sela, and this is where I'm going to pause. So be right back. Right, so I'm going to follow one of the in-effects guides here, but I probably will not have Sela in the party at all. I do need to have a paladin in the party, so I might recruit a mercenary paladin for this. But Sela doesn't really have the best stats in question for what I'm looking for in regards to a paladin. Her second level will be a Sohai monk, which are masters of the horse and the hunt. Horses kind of happens to be just what paladins prefer to use. The one thing that I'm not thrilled about is the fact that she's actually supposed, or the paladin, whether it's Sela or a mercenary, is actually supposed to be riding on the horse in combat, which I haven't done that in my other playthrough, which I haven't finished, by the way, but still, I think we'll follow this guide. It is pretty good, and I've been quite satisfied with this specific build. It takes no less than 5 different classes in multiclassing, so it is kind of insane in that regards, but yeah. As for her skills, we want to have, we need to have 3 mobility, we need to have 2 in Arcana. Perception is one of her primary stats. Let's see here. She needs 2 points in Arcana and 5 points in Persuasion. She also needs 3 points in Mobility, so Mobility, Persuasion, and then Arcana. Eventually she will be taking Perception, Trickery, and Stealth. Get a Horse Animal Companion. We are going to take Mounted Shield. Means that you may add your base shield bonus to your mount's armor class. And this gives us a horse. This horse is going to be a bulwark. Not sure if that is the way to pronounce it, but they are the companions with the sturdiest skin who can endure incredible amounts of suffering, thus called bulwarks. Now, the horsey will have athletics and perception. Its first feat will be dodge, for a +1 dodge bonus to the armor. And I have no idea what to call this horse. Wally. Some random date of birth. Now, Camellia, and again, I'm going to have to pause. So, I'm not a huge fan of Camellia as a melee fighter, so we are going to use the longbow version of. So she'll want to have trickery and perception. And now this, I'm not really that familiar with the shamans. They are kind of overwhelming, which is why I'm following guides here, otherwise I would spend hours looking at these things. Evil Eye, I can immediately recognize why this is a good one, because it does give -2 penalty to armor class, ability checks, attack rolls, saving throws, and skill checks. It is one of the following, so it's one of them, and it is equal to 3+ wisdom modifier rounds with a will save. So, yeah. Let's take that, complete. As for Lann, again, I shall have to pause. Lann, I think we're going to turn into a cleric, because I am going to keep him in the party, actually. So we'll go with Monk Zen Archer first, on level 2. His skills will be Mobility, Stealth, and Perception. As for our first bonus, or yeah, first bonus feat. Take precise shot. And we'll do Way of the Bow, longbow. Wenduag is not really that important. She's not going to be joining the party, she's going to leave us, so I'll just go through the motions here and do whatever. Let's give her something useless because I have no intentions of... I mean, you can recruit her later on, but I have no intentions of doing so. So, coordinated defense, that seems good. Yeah, you go with that, Wenduag. Now for our Ep's dog. And for our Wally horse. And that is our leveling up. Done at level 2. Now everyone is fatigued, so... But we will walk around the village and see what we can loot.
I'll go ahead.
We need to loot as much as we can. And here is Horgus Gwerm. Ah, a human face at last. And there I thought that I would be gazing upon the twisted visages of these troglodytes for the rest of my life. An elderly man in expensive but not ostentatious clothes approaches you. His face is peppered with several healed cuts and bruises and twisted in an expression of extreme discontent. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Horgus Gwerm. Yes, that Gwerm. You no doubt have heard of me if you've spent any time at all in the city. I have a business proposition for you. Your name tells me nothing. Who are you? You truly are freshly arrived in the city, then? You couldn't have picked a worse time, that's for certain. Only just arrived and the city's been razed to rubble. You should know that you are looking at one of the richest and most distinguished men in Canabras. I may not be as well known as certain swaggering loudmouths who spend their lives traipsing from one ball to the next, but the Gwerm Trading Company is one of the pillars of the city, I'll have you know. Did you see the marquees in the square? I paid for those. Tried any of the festival delicacies? You have Horgus Gwerm to thank for that. How did you end up here? For a moment, Horgus's eyes focus on Camellia before his gaze returns to you. Like everyone else. Down I went when that accursed beetle cleaved the ground in twain beneath our feet. I'm lucky I didn't break my neck in the fall, and I'm doubly lucky that I didn't encounter any subterranean cockroaches on my blind wanderings and instead came across hunters from this settlement. Although, I must say that when I first glimpsed their physiognomies, my life flashed before my very eyes. But they turned out to be decent chaps, frightening to look at, but able to keep a bargain. You don't speak very kindly of the mongrels, even though they saved your life? Pah! Kind words are for people with hours to fritter away on pleasantries. Horgus Gwerm speaks his mind, and he pays for services rendered not with kind words but with hard coin. I gave the mongrels my dagger in exchange for their help. Its handle is worth more than their entire village. What kind of business proposition? I don't know what is happening on the surface right now, but I am determined to find out. You have no intention of seeing out the rest of your days in this village, I suspect? We must find a route back to the surface, to the city, if there is anything left of it. You are a spellcaster, I presume? A sorcerer? A wizard? I can't tell which exactly, but it doesn't matter. Spells are always useful, especially in a situation like this. You are strong, it will be no trouble to you. But I, alas, am not as fit as I once was. I can't go crawling about through caves playing at scouts. My proposition is simple. Lead me back to the city, and I shall pay you 1,000 gold coins. I suggest we help this man. It is good to have friends among the Canabras elite. 2,000 gold. Why not 10,000 or 100? No, let's not be miserly. Let's say 1,000,000. My initial offer was a king's ransom. You've likely never seen so much gold in all your life. It's non-negotiable. I said 1,000, and that's my final offer. Money first. I would gladly pay in advance, but all my wealth is up on the surface. Fear not, the word of a Gwerm is worth more than platinum. Ask anyone. Horgus Gwerm has never reneged on a deal. Okay, deal. Splendid! In the meantime, I shall sit here in the village. We have to go. Go on, go on. Don't forget your agreement. When you find the way out, be sure to tell me. Bit unlucky on the diplomacy check there. Kah! I rolled a 6. A 7 would have been sufficient. Oh well, 2,000 gold, 1,000 gold, it's not that important. I might actually have to cheat him some money to make mercenaries, but I'm sure you guys will forgive me that. Eat some tasty mutated fish. And some more tasty mutated fish. Of random stuff. Here's a Nevia as well. This tragedy may not have happened if you'd spent less time surveying honest citizens and more time tracking the real spies and demon worshippers. Brilliant idea. How come I didn't think of it? Now, if only the cultists would tell us they were cultists. We wouldn't have to waste time investigating honest citizens who decided to go all cloak and dagger right under our noses. Horgus and Anevia sit some distance apart, sniping at one another in an idle fashion that testifies to their long acquaintance and mutual dislike. When they notice you, they quickly fall silent. Anevia, how's the leg? Anevia scrunches up her nose. Well, it hasn't fallen off yet, so that's good. They've bandaged me up and all nice and smeared some stinking stuff on the wound, so it looks like I'm going to live. Said wait a day and I'll be right as rain, so I'm waiting. What's the bad blood between you two about? It's an old matter. Miss Tirabade here had the notion of spying on me, then of rummaging through my goods. I ask you, do I look like a cultist? Cultists don't tend to look like cultists, you know? That's kind of the whole problem. And you, Mr. Gwerm, built a whole secret operation of buying and smuggling into the city. What was it? Oh yeah, magical weapons. How was I supposed to know that all the rigmarole with middlemen was so you could anonymously donate supplies to the crusade? Don't you see? I have a reputation to uphold, one that I value most highly. Horgus Gwerm is a hard-nosed businessman, not a good farrier from a tale. Yes, I care about my city. Yes, I wish to see that its defenders, my defenders, were well fed, healthy and well armed. But to make those donations openly was unthinkable. Might as well hang a sign outside my door welcoming in every sponger, leech and parasite in the city. I appreciate your help for the crusade. No jokes, you're an alright bloke, but carrying on secret dealings in a city that's teeming with cultists is a huge pain in the backside for us lot whose job it is to keep an eye on that sort of thing. What do you think is happening in the city now? Perhaps the city is no more. If Discari himself appeared, there's no telling how bad things are. Can you hold off on writing our obituaries just yet? The city is full of fighters. And besides that, it's barely a stone's throw from Nerosian. I think our people will hold on long enough for reinforcements to come from the Queen. This ain't Discari's home turf. He's gonna have to retreat or else fight off the whole Mandevian army. What do you think of the mongrels? I thought they were just a story, the sort of thing drunks in the taverns would come out with. Now I discover that it's true. Well, what can I possibly think of them? The poor creatures are most unfortunate with their faces and their minds so deformed. It's a miracle they're even alive. The part that boggles my mind is that they're the descendants of the first crusaders. All these years they've been living beneath our feet, in caves in the dirt. If I had known the legends about them were true, I'd have dedicated my life to getting them out of this place. To what end? The people of Canabras would have stoned them on sight, and Prelate Halrun would have had them tossed on the pyre en masse. Whatever the ills of this place, it is their home. How long do you think they would have survived on the surface? What are you going to do when you get back to the surface? I'm going to go home. Last I knew, I owned a very fine mansion. I shall see if it's still standing, or if I am now homeless. I'm going to find Iribeth. She is my wife and the leader of the Eagle Watch. As long as she lives, she will not allow Canabras to fall. We have to go. We need to loot the village. Go on then, and don't dilly-dally. The sooner we get out of here, the likelier we are to find some people still alive up there. Take care of yourselves. Oh, there's a merchant there. We'll visit her as well. After we've looted the village, of course. Here's our tent for resting.
Follow my lead.
This is where we are going to end up when we leave Neathholm. I think we've explored the city. Yeah, we've definitely explored the city. Why? Oh, because we can see them. Let's pay a visit to this merchant here. You there! A tall woman with a face deformed by an enormous swelling smiles broadly at you, showing off her double row of small sharp teeth. You, from the surface. You must be tough to make it all the way here. Never thought I'd see the day. Call me Dira. Let's trade. Let's trade. I don't think she actually sells anything of use. Not that we have that much money. No, she does not. So let's... Yeah, I think I've equipped these with the weapons I want them to have. I want to keep that torch. These are ingredients, we are going to need those. Don't need harm or inflict wounds. As for these, we can just click bulk selling. That'll give us 205 gold. And I think this is a good spot to end this episode and move on to the next one where we will be leaving Neathholm. So yeah, if you do have any questions and or comments, then please do feel free to leave those in the comment section. And yes, I know cheating in quotation marks, or not so much quotation marks, to get money. I will be very specific about the money because I don't want money for anything else than exactly the amount that I need for the mercenaries, and you can be very specific about how much you want to gain. So if I wanted to gain 1 gold, I can increment it by 1, like this, and I can also remove money again. So, but yeah, that's what we're going to do. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I hope to be seeing you all in the next episode.